Hi guys. I was supposed to do this post. In fact, I actually had it up on YouTube, all set and running, about an hour and 15 minutes ago. And then I discovered that there was no sound. Now, that's because I applied for a work-at-home job that I was iffy about even when I was doing the assessment. I mean, I think I deliberately flubbed the assessment, yet somehow still passed. And I mean, I think I deliberately flubbed the assessment because I just started not caring halfway through, and I'm like, I really don't like this company and how they word things and how they do things, and yet somehow I still got something back saying, oh, well, we'd like to, test your system and get you set up to work at home. So even though my gut instinct told me don't do it, I downloaded their program, but I managed to stop it about halfway through before it embedded in my system, but it still completely messed up my microphone and speaker system. I mean, literally my speakers doing feedback like they were a microphone. Somehow my computer was recording everything I said, and it was echoing all back out of the speakers. I mean, you couldn't move without it registering. So I spent the first half hour trying to fix my microphones. I then spent the next half hour system restoring to about 8 o'clock on the 9th. 8 o'clock in the morning, that is, on the 9th. And it, thankfully, it reset the whole entire system, before those programs were even put in. Will not do that again. If I do that again, remind me of this and tell me I'm an idiot. So let's go ahead and, besides that little negative piece of information, let's get the rest of the negative out of the way. Today is now the 10th. Rent is due. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to magically come up with $700 I didn't have before. I have $4 in the bank. $4 is better than nothing. $4 is better than negative, and I can tell you that any day of the week. $4 is way more than what I had 2 weeks ago. So we'll just put that right there. $4 is fantastic. $4 is what we can add to. But yeah, so what we're going to be doing is likely on the 15th, they're going to put an eviction notice on the door. The only thing that we can really hope for is that we can call a local charity called Sisters of Mercy, and that they can pay the eviction notice. What we're really hoping for is usually with the eviction notice, the rental agency will want 2 months of rent. So you're probably looking about $1,400 there, plus the eviction fees and taxes and court costs and everything else that goes with it. So altogether, you're looking at a pretty good chunk of change, probably about $1,600. So the only thing we can hope is that somehow that happens. But that's in the future. That's during the middle of a week. That's going to be crazy, crazy, crazy anyway. So we will start with the day that I had my interview. Interview was at 10 o'clock. I walked in all gussied up, looking my best, only to discover that the job was already taken. Probably the job had been taken while I was filling out information for it. But that happens. Lady looked to see if there was anything else. The only thing that was left really was call center opportunities. And they're temporary positions. And their hours would conflict with ours. But I told her, I'm like, look, let me go home, talk to my husband. I'll find out what's going on. He said, well, let me see how my orientation goes, and when we get back, we can talk about it. So he left for his orientation, and while he was gone, I got a call from UHS, which handles several medical facilities here in Louisville. I was going for kind of a clerical assistant type of position, and the lady wanted to interview me on the 9th, technically today for me because I'm still awake, on the 9th of at 10 o'clock in the morning. She has a test that needs to be done, and then we do an interview. So I said, sure, no problem. Went ahead and made sure that we get arrangements done. And I told hubby the good news when he came home. Unfortunately, he had bad news for me. there's supposed to be a minimum wage raise here in Kentucky. Well, we thought that it had already kicked in or was in the process of being kicked in. We were wrong. So, my poor husband, who has not seen minimum wage since his teens, and certainly has not seen $7.25 since his teens, because minimum wage was vastly different when we were younger. Minimum wage was vastly different. But he hasn't seen $7.25 since he was 14 years old. And that's what he's looking at. And he's looking at making 40 hours if he's lucky. And then to boot, his job doesn't start until next Thursday. But he said, you know what, if you get this job and it interferes with mine, I already know which one, because yours is likely to make more than $7.25 an hour, which is correct. And it's in a good field at a good location. So it's, everything seems to be lining up. It's just getting all the dominoes to fall into place. So, friend shows up this morning. He's running a little bit late. And he starts to head to the place that I went to on the 8th. We're like 3/4 of the way there, and I'm like, dude, where are we going? Unfortunately, we are heading to the place we were previously. So he freaks out a little bit. He's like, oh my God, you're going to be late. And I'm like, you know what, dude? I've got this, seriously. If I have to, I'll bluff my way through it. Say I wrote down the time wrong. Whatever. I mean, I'll bluff if I have to. I'm not really keen on white lies. I'm not really keen on dissembling, but as needs must. So we get there. It's like 10:32 when I walk through the door. And I told her, I'm sorry for being a minute or two late. I generally try to be early, but, there were some glitches. She was like, no problem. She was like, I tried to contact you. I don't know how. I mean, my home phone never rang. The little government phone that I've got never rang. So I'm thinking she probably tried to contact my old cell phone. I thought I erased that number. I guess I hadn't. And that cell phone's been dead for about 4 months. She was like, I tried to contact you. Unfortunately, our testing system is down. So we're going to have to do this again on Monday or Tuesday. Maybe I'll send the test to you. You can do it at home and we'll just interview. I didn't receive the test. But when I came home and I told hubby what was happening, he was like, oh my God, another delay. And I was telling him, well, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe, she got to look at my face, all that. Maybe that was what was needed. And I get something telling me that the position that I was trying for also has an 11 to 7, the graveyard shift that I've been aiming for. So I'm excited now, officially. I mean, I am officially excited because here it is. I actually have the ability to work this job the hours that I want. So I immediately called her as soon as I got this email, click apply. And I told her, I'm like, I'm applying for these hours. She's like, well, you still have to do the test. You still have to do the, I'm like, okay, I totally get all that. I still have to do the test and the interview. But these are different hours than before. And these are the hours I'm actually aiming for. This is what I would like to do. And she was completely agreeable. So I look at it this way. Everything that we have done has not technically been a setback. Maybe I didn't get that data entry job, 11 to 7, because it's temporary. It's not going to last forever. And because it's going through a temporary agency. So maybe me showing up there and finding that out face to face was a good thing. It told me a lot about the company. It told the company a lot about me. They still have me in their books, and so I still have a foot in the door there. My husband finding out he's making $7.25 and barely hitting 40 hours has got him motivated. He was like, look, keep applying. This is creating a more recent job history for me, but there is no way in hell I'm staying here. So just keep applying. Just keep applying, keep applying, keep applying, and we will find something that will coincide with whatever schedule you've got. that will bring money in this household. Um, okay, yeah, so I didn't get to do my test today. I didn't get to do my interview today. But I walked in, she saw my face. She saw that I was sincere about the job. I shook her hand, and I told her that I looked forward to talking with her again. And I have a potential, coming on to Monday and Tuesday. I have the ability to try again and try for the hours that I actually want, which I wouldn't have known about if I had done the test today and done the interview today. I may not have paid, and if I had gotten the job, I may not have paid any attention to the change in hours. I may have just deleted the email without looking at it. That's a 50-50 chance. I could have opened it and discovered, oh look, new hours. But there's also a good chance I could have just deleted it. So everything is working out to an extent the way we want it to. It's just it's a little bit slower than we would like. We still have a lot of hitches, glitches, and problems. And this upcoming week, my coding classes start on the 13th. That technically is all second shift right there. My coding classes start on the 13th. Jaden has, my littlest has appointments for the 15th and the 21st that I still haven't gotten rides for. We're just trying to make it right now to February. We're not trying to think like that, but that is where we are trying to make it towards, because February is make or break for us. February, and it's going to be more make. I mean, really, it's going to be more make, because that's when our taxes come in, and that's when, just come hell or high water, we're getting a car. We have, I mean, when you stop and you think about it, things have been so negative for us the last couple of years that we've started to think in those terms, and things have just gotten worse and worse and worse because we keep thinking in these negative terms, which means we're expecting disaster, so it's almost like we're bringing it on top of ourselves. So we're actually trying to break that mindset. I look at it this way. This last year, I accomplished so much with so much less. You guys helped pull us along. I mean, you helped so much, but not all of you can be here. You can't just cough up a car in my direction. I mean, there's limits to what you guys can do. There's limits to what our local friends can do. There was a lot of limits and obstacles that were placed in our path, but we still got food in the house. We still paid our bills. We still managed to accomplish all these things without a vehicle, which is essential in a city in modern life nowadays, especially a city that's centered mass towards the middle but spreads out as you go. A car here in Louisville is essential, and that's just because the busing system, once you head out of downtown, just gets erratic and crazy and just makes no sense. So we're in that position right now. We've managed to make it through busing, through walking, through catching rides, but we've hit a point now where we know when our taxes come in, that's our first priority. We junk our old car, pay whatever taxes we have to on her, get insurance, and get another car. I don't care if it's used. I don't care what it is. I need to get a car. And that will make life easier. It won't take us 2 hours to do anything anymore, whether by walking or by taking a bus. So that right there, that's step one. Step one gets us to transportation. Transportation gets faster, and life becomes a little bit easier. We can get to and from our own appointments, for instance. When March rolls around, we'll be able to get littlest to his angiogram appointment, his angioplasty. So this is what we're aiming for. We're just about there. We just need to get a little bit further. So keep your fingers crossed that hubby will look across a job that is close, that has better hours and way better pay, and that I can get this job that's 11 to 7 and pays fantastic, anywhere from like 10 to 15. I can't really remember, but that's the range. This job that just pays fantastic. Well, I can get 40 hours, hopefully I can actually get away to and from without too much of a headache. So just, just keep your fingers crossed for us, because we're almost there. We still have quite a few setbacks and, and things that could potentially go wrong. But can't really think like that anymore. I mean, the time of thinking like that has to be over. So just keep your fingers crossed for us. There's your overly long, overly winded update. That should have been done 2 hours ago. Hey, my system's reset. She's restored. I am 10 times happier this way. Just keep your fingers crossed for us. And until I post again, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And know that I and my little family are sending you and your little families lots of love. Take care, guys.